Hi everyone, welcome back to Body and Spirit. Today we're going to take a Pilates session that will help rebalance your body, strengthening where it's necessary and releasing any tension that you don't need. Don't forget, if this kind of work is new for you, please check in with either your medical practitioner or your fitness professional first. And this will be a general level class, so do make sure you increase the difficulty or drop down the difficulty of exercises as you need for your own body. Let's get started. We'll begin standing up today. If you have equipment available, you might want handy your cushions, your little squishy overballs and your bands, but don't worry, all of the exercises are doable without these pieces if you don't have them. Let's begin by just finding your center and grounding. Feel the legs coming about hip distance apart with the toes looking directly forwards, the heels looking directly backwards, and beginning to balance the body weight through the soles of the feet. Have a little rock if necessary. Feel that your weight is equally being poured through the ball of the big toe, little toe, and center of the heel, creating the magic triangle on which you can stand. Feel into the width of those feet, the second toe lining up with the center of the knee and the pelvic bones. And then beginning to allow yourself to drop down into the soles of the feet, feeling your weight dropping down, roots growing down into the earth beneath. Allow relaxation and awareness to come into your ankle, knee and hip joints, letting go of any tension that you're holding there, even if it doesn't feel like a quote-unquote good posture. And then begin to allow the thigh bones to feel like they're lifting up off the knees. The pelvis, front and back, lifting away from the thigh bones, feeling the pubic bone getting closer to the belly button without gripping through the buttocks. Feel the entire spine, every vertebra, both coming up to the crown of the head and dropping down to the tail, elongating, gaining space between each joint. And feel how that makes the spine, both the back surface and the deep front surface of the spine, get longer in both directions. Softening off through the heart and allowing the collarbones to feel wide and the little baby hairs at the base of the skull to feel lifted. So the crown of the head is now connecting up to the ceiling, to the sky, in opposition to the connection down through the feet. And begin to find breath inside your body, inhaling fully, exhaling, lifting pelvic floor, gently connecting belly button. Breathing in and breathing out. And each time you inhale, feel the space increase in every part of the body. And each time you exhale, feel connection to your center without gripping the joints. And then starting with your floating arms, the next time you breathe in, the right arm can float up. As you exhale, connect and elongate the head, the neck, the vertebra. Stay there, take a breath into the armpit, open it to the ceiling. And as you exhale, lift the pelvic floor to bring you back onto alignment and float the arm down, where you can inhale, float the left arm up. And exhale, connect to the center whilst elongating the side reach. Stay there, breathe into the armpit, the side of the lungs, and exhale, lift the inner thighs as you come back online and let the arm float down. Changing sides, breathing in, exhaling, connecting, but lengthening through the soles of the feet, the crown of the head. Inhale there, feel the body, but exhale to strengthen as you come back onto alignment. And then inhale, let the arm float up, and exhale to reach. Feel the body open and get longer as you breathe in. Breathe out, strengthen as you keep that length. Come upright, float the arm down. We'll take one more on each side. As you come back upright, starting to take your balance, breathing in to prepare, breathing out to move the arms to ribcage closure and rise onto both toes. Inhale, let the arms circle as you lower the heels down. Breathing out, rising up, connecting more firmly to the center. Inhale as you lower. Each time you rise up, feel the breath coming out and the connection of your center giving you the power to rise, giving you the power to press the feet into the floor and lift the armpits, fingers and crown. Keep that length as you lower down. And each time you lower down, keeping the length but increasing the strength of the pelvic floor, the belly button, as you softly float the heels and arms down. All the joints in the legs, the spine, the hips remaining relaxed as you work. And as you lower the heels down, let the arms come to rest. We'll take the roll downs through the spine. See how far you want to go. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out to nod the chin to the chest and curl it through bone by bone. At the bottom, take the breath in. And as you breathe out, lift the belly button, allow the tail to drop and restack the vertebra one at a time. Breathing in as the chin nods to the chest and you lift the upper back as you curl over and exhale as you complete that roll down. Inhale to the tail, exhale, lift the belly button and feed each bone back into alignment. Breathing in to curl over. Breathing out to complete the roll down. A full breath into the lower back, drop the tail and exhale to roll back up. Let's take 3 more. Using the inhalation to begin that roll down allows you to soften the breastbone but lift the back of the skull. Breathe into the back of the neck, between the ribs, the shoulder blades, and then exhale, lift the belly button to strengthen the movement as you complete the roll down. Using the in-breath on the way up to drop the tail down allows you to expand the lower back. Breathe into the lower back. Exhale, lift the belly button and feel it roll you back up to standing. And when you get there, we can stay there, bringing the feet tightly together. And thinking about your one leg balance, we'll press both feet into the ground through your triangles. And as you feel the connection through the triangles, feel the collarbones widen and the shoulder blades widen and the spine stretch and elongate. So you have the strength to peel the right foot from the floor without sinking into the left hip. When you get to that one leg balance, stay there. Soften the joints, ankles, knees, hips, spine, but lift the thigh off the knee on that left leg. Lift the pelvis off the thigh, lift the back of the ribs off the pelvis, lift the baby hairs at the base of the skull. Let's continue with this one leg balance now into your oyster, feeling the lifted leg rotate and then release. Rotate, the knee will open, release, and the knee will come to parallel. It's easy to find the rotation, the movement of the leg. Don't let that worry you. Focus on your stance. Focus on the relaxation of the joints. And just check in with the pelvis. Are the pelvic bones remaining front and centre? Don't let that right side of the pelvis travel with the knee. Let's take the last 3, and if you want to use arms as you're doing this exercise, they can open shoulder height, crucifix level as the knee opens. Release as the knee returns. Complete the last one, let the feet come back together, imprint both feet, feel the lift increase as you swap the stance onto the other leg. We stay here, 4 or 5 breaths, softening the joints, lifting through the centre, feeling the spine become elastic and pliable, the joints soft. And maintaining the stance into the leg, the lift through the spine as you start to open and close the lifted leg. The more the glutes grip and start to crack walnuts, the more the pelvis is going to become unstable. You need your core, your pelvic floor, your lower pyramid, your lower cone connection. And as ever, if you want to allow the arms to work with the movement and you're not already doing so, add in those floats. We'll complete the last one, let the feet come back together, keep connection, we're not done yet. Swapping sides again, we'll peel the first foot away from the ground. Check again into the lift on the standing side, connection into the floor, and levelness through the pelvis as we start to take bow and arrow. We're going to move the same arm as lifted leg, the same arm as lifted leg. So pulling the arm back and turning the head, the neck, the ribs. Once you get there, stay there. Increase your length as the elbow opens to straight and return the arm back to the start position. We go again. The softer you can be with your movement here, the stronger you can be with your balance and stance. So each time the arm returns to the front, you're softening the armpits, opening the collarbones wide. Last one. And you're lifting through your centre, softening the neck. Let the feet come back together. We'll switch and swap sides. Peeling now the left leg away from the ground. Let the arms float forwards. Check you're not overly retracted or protracted through the shoulder girdle. Evenly wide collarbones and shoulder blades. And as you start to turn, you're pulling the elbow back. The head is moving in line with the hand. Head, neck, ribs turn. Increase your core as you open the elbow and return the arm back to the start position, keeping the collarbone wide. We go again. And if you're really needing to, have a little tippy-toe touch on the floor with your lifted leg. I'd rather you were able to balance and get a balance of movement versus strength, rather than really having to work hard just to stay up there and the movement being very rigid and having to lock down in all the joints. So we complete the last one. You've done 5 or 6 on each side. And as you come back around to the centre, you can let the feet float hip distance apart. We'll prepare to open up the back of the legs, so let's nod the chin to the chest and breathe in, breathe out as you roll all the way down to the bottom of your roll down. And when you get there, let it stay there. We'll hold on to either your own elbows or onto the back of the legs, or you can simply let the arms hang. Stay here and breathe. As you breathe in, imagine the sit bones are being lifted from behind up to the ceiling. And as you breathe out, keep them lifted. Let the head the ribs, the arms hang. And the next time that you exhale, you can let the knees bend off, come down into your little crouch, and we'll come out onto the hands and knees into your 4-point kneeling position. Starting to think about your arm openings with thread the needle. If you like using a ball for this movement, then you're very welcome. We take the right arm and we open it out to the right hand side as we breathe in and rotate head, neck, ribs. Exhale, bend the supporting arm as you reach underneath and thread the needle. Inhale to open. And exhale to thread and reach. As ever, if you'd like to make this movement more challenging, you can work with the leg in the Superman position. Please make sure it's the opposite leg to arm that's moving. And you can either keep the tippy toe on the floor for a little bit of an increased difficulty, but still some balance, or you can work with the leg lifted for the full version. Complete this one, let yourself come back into your 4-point kneeling, we'll change sides. Choose what you're doing with your leg, opposite leg to arm, and then breathing in as you rotate, and breathing out as you reach. The breath comes in full into your entire lungs. Exhale, connect to the core, but lengthen the spine. Crown of the head and tail as long as you can. Breathe in fully to the lungs. Keep that length as you exhale and thread. Let's take the last one. Making sure as you work that the bottom is not sitting back over the shins at any time. Complete the last one. Come back into your 4-point kneeling. Let the bottom sit back onto the heels and reach the arms away into your rest position. In this position, choose whether you have the front of the ankles flat on the floor or the toes tucked under to open the soles of the feet. The choice is yours. Breathing in to where you feel the tightness. That could be the soles of the feet, it could be the sit bones, the tail, it could be the lower back, it could be up into the lungs, into the ribs. Let's complete the last breath, and on the exhalation we'll come back into your 4-point kneeling position and start to work through your toe taps. Engage belly button to spine, increase that strength, but open sit bones into the happy dog wagging its tail. Open the collarbones and shoulder blades, feel into your alignment with the shoulder drop, and when you're ready, take the breath in, elongate your core. As you exhale, connect the core, slide the right leg away and lift it. Maybe you want to lift the opposite arm too, and we stay there. Inhale, toe touches down, exhale, leg lifts. Let's go again. Keep it going. Each time the toe touches down, release the sit bones and let the hip flex and move. Each time the leg lifts, connect the back of the thigh and the back of the bottom and the belly button to the spine. We'll take the last one, and the next one we lift it, leave it lifted. For the leg circles, choose whether you're keeping the opposite arm extended or placing it onto the floor. And we circle the leg 5 times each way. Changing direction when you've done one way. Check into the pelvis, is it level east-west? Complete the last one, bring the knee back underneath into the 4-point kneeling. Please rest the wrists off if you need to. You can always press pause on this recording before you change sides. Sliding the other leg out and maybe reaching the opposite arm away. The toes touch down and lift for the toe taps. As you lower, breathe in, feel the sit bones widen, the hips relax. As you breathe out, the belly button lifts, the back of the bottom and the back of the thigh coming together. Double check the alignment is level, east-west, and then lifting the leg and keeping it there, you can circle the leg 5 times each way. Again, choosing what you're doing with the opposite arm. When you've done your 5 circles in each direction, bring that leg all the way through for your pigeon stretch. Place that left knee in front, slide the left leg out behind, and choose if you're staying on the hands, lowering chin into hands, or coming right down to rest the forehead on the floor. Feel what feels right for you today. And again, move that pelvis around until you're in just the right position to open the hips. And start to breathe into the tightness. Is the tightness under the bottom? Is it in the hip? Is it in the right leg, the left leg? Find it. Breathe into it. Complete the last breath, and then you can come back onto the hands if necessary, and we'll think about changing sides, bringing the right leg in front to elongate out for your pigeon stretch. Again, choosing where your hands need to be. Different side, maybe an entirely different position with the hands. So completing the last breath, and then you can relax, come out of the stretch, and this time we'll come around onto the bottom, sitting onto the bottom, and we'll start to think about your rollbacks. You're very welcome to use bands around the soles of the feet if that's an appropriate choice for you. You can equally work with the knees bent and the hands behind the back of the thighs, or in the traditional way with the legs extended out and the hands resting on the floor at the side of the thighs. Again, feel into your alignment. How much lift is too much? How much drop down is too much? Feel an equal connection through the sit bones and the baby hairs at the base of the skull, down and up. Stay there for a moment or two. Let the breastbones soften so the collarbones can widen, and then begin to think about your forward spinal stretch. Chin nods, back of the neck lengthens, between the shoulder blades separate. You feel how far you can take that stretch forwards and stay. Relax the breast tissue, relax the chest, belly button to spine, and then you can begin the roll back, keeping the breast tissue soft and open, the tail reaching for the sit bones and the hips relaxing. Curling up, chin to chest, curl up, soften the breastbone, soften the chest, soften the hips, and keep the length of the spine, no more, no less, as you come into the roll up. As we have been doing in class, finding the balance of releasing the hips, releasing the chest, lengthening the vertebra. So the strength is not in the grip, but in the length and softness of the joints and the strength of the muscles. Starting to think a little bit as well about your breathing. Inhaling into the small of the back as you take the roll back, the first half of the roll back. Exhaling as you connect and melt the lower back into the floor. Inhaling into the breastbone, the upper back and the lower back, and then exhaling as you connect the belly button and peel through the lower vertebra. Let's take the last two in your own time. Complete the last one, we're going to stay sitting. And once you're in that seated position, you can unravel to an upright seated posture. And if you have a little squishy ball, you're going to sit onto the top of it. So it's right underneath your pelvis, between the tail and the pubic bone. You're completely off the floor and in a wobbly position. If you don't have a ball, you can absolutely do this without. The soles of the feet come together. The knees are softly open into the long frog. The feet are far enough forwards that you're not tucking underneath with your bottom and either struggling to balance or leaning back into the mat. Stack the shoulders over the hips. Let the breastbone soften, let the sit bones sink, let the vertebra lengthen. And have a slight lift through the knees. Just enough that you're now in your pelvic floor more strongly and not using your hips to balance. Let's start with the floating arms. We take a single float with the right arm and let it come down. We take a single float with the left arm and let it come down. And then if you're feeling brave, you take both arms at the same time and let it come down. Single, single, double is the sequence I'm going to take. If you prefer to stick with single arms or work all with doubles, then that's fine. As the arm floats up, you choose, do you need the breath in to elongate the spine, or do you need the breath out to strengthen your core? Which gives you the better balance? You're thinking of your spine like the proverbial tree trunk. It's long, really grounded and really strong. So your arms are free to move the shoulder joint. You could almost move that arm anywhere. The shoulder joint oily, mobile, free, and not causing any movement in the spine, in the vertebra. Complete the last one. Let it come to rest. And we can take the ball away if you have it. Enjoy that feeling of openness in the sit bones, and let's bring the legs comfortably wide. So we're opening the legs far enough that you're still able to sit shoulders over sit bones. And yes, if you're used to using cushions or a ball behind you to help align the pelvis, then please do. And let's take your saw. Arms wide, shoulders soft, collarbones, shoulder blades wide, elbows soft. Feet are flexed, pelvic floor lifted as the hips are soft, and you rotate. Head, neck, ribs, arms roll down as you rotate, and take the triple reach. Roll it back up and center to switch sides. How well you know this and how strong you feel will depend on how fast or how slow you move. Last two. Last one. Let the arms come to rest, let the legs come together. And we'll roll it all the way down onto the back and into your relaxation position. Once you're in your relaxation position, have a little think about where you need the feet aligned. And anytime you want to increase the difficulty of an exercise, by all means, introduce the squishy ball if you have it handy. Let's begin with the knees in the double knee probably. So thinking about elongating pubic bones, sit bones, folding at the front of the hips as you bring the knees into the double knee fold, maintaining equal weight through the back of the ribs and the back of the pelvis. Starting with your ribcage closure, this is increased in difficulty if you have the ball behind the pelvis. We breathe in to prepare, breathe out, connect deeply into your centre as you reach, and inhale as you return. Think about where your knees are. Are they wanting, as mine are actually, to be slightly too close to your tummy? Find the balance of the knees over the hips. Are they wanting to fall away from the hips and increase strain in the front of the hips and thighs? Don't let it happen. Let's begin to increase the challenge as the arms reach. Either one leg or indeed two legs can extend away into the leg extension. And again, this is massively challenged if you have the squishy ball behind your pelvis. Maybe you want to do both, a single, double sequence as we did with the floating arms. Whichever level you choose, really it's not important. The importance here is in your alignment, in your balance through your pelvis and spine. As the legs extend away, where are you placing them on the wall in front of you? How high, how low? How low causes your back to take on the work and the strain? How low causes the abdomen to tense, press or bulge out? Where do you need the height of the leg to be to feel that every time the arms and legs extend, you can lift the pelvic floor up? You can engage and lift the abdomen, the belly button. Complete the last one. If you have a ball behind you, take it away. And let's bring the feet together and the knees hip distance apart. We'll lace the hands behind the skull and start to think about your curl-ups. Breathing in to prepare, breathing out to curl up, breathing in to lower. Each time you curl up, it should be preceded by the lift of the pelvic floor, which pushes the air out and allows you to nod the chin to the chest and curl away. Let's take the last two. And then we're thinking about moving into your crisscross. So we curl up, we leave it there, and we extend one leg out, pulling the opposite knee into the chest. The opposite shoulder to that bent knee is your prep. Inhale, exhale and switch. And keep alternating sides. Make the curl up your priority rather than the depth of the leg. Keep the head heavy into the hands. Let the neck, the shoulder blades move, the ribs rotate. And we take the last one each side. And then we connect the feet back together and keep the head curled up as we extend the legs to the ceiling. Feel the sit bones opening, the pelvis long, the abdomen is long but engaged, the curl up is high, and choose for your leg lowers whether you're taking singles or doubles, or again, a combination of both. Inhale as the leg lowers, exhale as it lifts. But regardless of the breath, your main focus is not to arch the lower back, to keep the tail, the sit bones long, the belly button, the abdomen connected, and the curl up high. Complete your last one. Let the head lower, let the knees bend. into the double knee fold, and the arms move away from the side of the hips for your hip rolls. Choose, are you working with the feet lifted or with the feet grounded? Take your breath all of the way out to prepare. Inhale as you rotate, and exhale as you return. Inhaling to rotate, and exhaling to return. Why breathe in and rotate? I want you to really fill your spine with air, both down through the tail and beyond, and up through the back of the lungs, ribs, neck, head, as you take that breath in, and it makes your body really long. And then when you're long, you can keep that length, but use the strength of the out breath to bring you back to center. So with each repetition, you're really working the obliques, getting that rotation and twist, but also elongating the vertebra. A long spine means strong abdominals. We'll take the last one, and once you're even, right, left, bring it back to center, and you can separate out the feet hip distance apart. We're going to cross the right ankle on top of the left knee to prepare for your glute stretch, and then we can wrap the hands around the left thigh. The right hand going in between both legs, the left hand going around the outside, so they can lace behind the left thigh and draw that thigh to the chest. If you struggle to be in this position and keep the head and the backs of the shoulders on the floor, you can choose to either place the sole of that left foot onto a wall, or have a cushion behind the head or a strap around the back of the thigh on which you can hold. Once you're there, let yourself take a gentle rock with the thigh, with the pelvis. Sorry, not with the pelvis, with the thigh, from side to side, from left to right. And find the spot where you feel the most stretch around the right butt and the right hip. It should be pretty much that the left knee is in line with the left shoulder. And once you're there, let it stay there. Let the sit bones drop, let the chest soften. Breathe in as that left leg straightens towards the ceiling. Breathe out, let that left leg bend. And each time the leg straightens, let the sit bones drop. And each time the leg bends, let the knee feel like it's getting longer, closer to the ceiling. Complete the last one. Let that foot place itself onto the ground. Keep the legs, however, where they are, but cross at the knees rather than ankle to knee. Let the legs completely drop over to the left-hand side, and turn your head to look to your right hand, maybe opening that right arm a little further out like a crucifix. Turn that chin, as I say, into the right hand, and then breathe into the lower back. Breathe out, let the knee drop to the left. Let the right arm reach to the right. Complete the last breath, and at the end of the exhalation, belly button to spine, you can come back to center, and we'll take that right knee into the single knee fold for leg circles. Of course, you can choose the other leg straight, or if you prefer working with a band around the sole of the foot, then you can take that option too. Oiling the hip, we're breathing in as we come across the body, pelvis stays still, and then exhale to circle the thigh around. Inhale across and exhale, circle. If the underneath leg is straight, flex the foot and anchor it into the floor. And as you come across the body, let's change direction. Through the upper body, relax the breastbone so it's anchored into the ground too. Complete the last circle, and you can place the right foot into the floor, and we can swap sides. Left ankle on top of right knee. Wrapping the hands around the thigh, around the right thigh, and drawing it towards the chest. A little bit of a lateral movement, right to left, with that right thigh, to find where you need that knee to be to get maximal release and stretch. And then each time you breathe in, the leg extends, the right leg. And then exhaling to bend. Every in-breath, the sit bones drop to the ground, and every out-breath, the knee lengthens to the ceiling as it bends. Complete the last one, and then we'll place that foot all the way into the floor and cross over at both knees now, so you can let the knees drop to the right. Turn the head to look behind you at the left hand. Breathing into the lower back, breathing out to release. And as you release, let the knees drop further, let the left arm reach more. And at the end of this exhalation, you can come back to center, use some abdominal connection to support that, and find the feet hip distance apart. Decide for your spine curls whether you're going to take the spine curl or whether you're going to lift the legs into the air for your rollovers. I will do both. Take your pick and let's begin. Breath comes in to prepare. Exhale, pelvis tilts north, and you peel through the vertebra bone by bone as the spine leaves the ground. Inhale as the spine comes back down. If you're working with the spine curls at the minute, as I am just at the minute, you can take any variation on this exercise that you know. That might be heel marches, it might be arm circles, whichever works for your body. If you're working with the rollovers, as indeed I am at the minute, you can decide which variation you need. Are the hands on the floor at the side of the hips? Are they in rib cage closure? Are you taking hip flexion, leg circles? How low are the legs moving to the ground as you come out of the rollover and into the leg lowering? Let's complete the last repetition. And as you complete the last one, let the knees come back to your double knee fold if the legs are lifted, and find your relaxation position. We're going to roll over onto the side, and for the side lying work, I'd like you to choose how you want to be. Broadly speaking, first level on the arm on the cushion, second level up on the elbow, third level either with the hands laced behind the head or coming up into your full side bridge. The choice is yours. If you're working in side bridge, again, please choose whether you're staying on the knees or coming up onto the feet. We're softening through the heart and the hips and elongating the thighs and crown of the head. Have equal weight in the side of the ribs and the side of the pelvis. And we'll begin with the top leg lifted to about hip height for the forward and backward leg swings. Inhale as the legs come forward and exhale as it moves back. As the leg comes forwards, we flex the foot toes to the nose and extend the ankle as it moves back. Adding in the football kicks, coming forwards, we kick, kick, breathe in, smooth single leg swing back. This needs a shift in your core. As the leg kicks, you need to focus on a stronger connect in your center. And relaxation and length in the hips and sit bones. Complete the last one and then we'll move into the leg circles. Taking 5 or 6 in each direction. Change direction when you're ready. If you're up in your side bridge, you'll need to come down to the ground to connect to your torpedo with both legs lifting and lowering. Again, please choose if you need to a variation for your level on this. We'll take the last 2, the last one, and then let the underneath leg rest and slightly bend. Let the top foot come to your bottom, grab it, hold it. Breathe into the knee and the crown of the head. Breathe out, engage the tummy, pull the heel to the bottom. Breathe into the knee, crown of the head. Breathe out, engage the tummy, pull the heel to the bottom. And as you exhale and draw in, keep the bottom relaxed. Complete the last breath. Let's roll it directly onto the other side and choose which level you're going to work in as we do the same exercises on the other side. Beginning with the top leg extended and lifted for your forward and backward leg swings. So as the leg swings forwards, foot flexes. As it swings back, it points and extends. And start to add in the little kicks. It's important here that the pelvis stays still. So as the leg comes forwards, you're really flexing or bending the front of the hip and opening the sit bones. As it swings back, connect bottom and thigh and belly button. Let's take the circles, 5 each way. Of course, you can change your mind about the position that you're in anytime you need to. Take the last 2, and then if you are in the side bridge, you need to come down into your side lying for your torpedo, both legs together to lift and lower. Inhale as the legs lower and open the joints. Exhale as the legs lift, keep the joints open, the body long, but really connect to your power. Let's take the last 2. Completing the last one, you can let the legs lower, draw the top foot to the bottom, let the underneath knee slightly soften. Breathe into the knee and crown. And breathe out, belly button to spine, foot to bottom. At the end of the next exhalation, you can let the leg go, roll it onto your tummy, and we'll start to work through your spinal extensions. Cobra, unless there's a different version that you need to work with. And we'll add your head turning. Elongate the lower back, separate back of the ribs and pelvis. Relax the hips so the thighs can elongate and the upper back can elongate. Take the breath in to prepare and keep the lower back long as you exhale and lift. The head is currently looking right. Inhale at the top, swap the head from right to left. And exhale to come down through the cobra. Once you get there, breathe into the lower back to prepare. Exhale, keep the lower back long, lifting head, neck, upper back, maybe middle back. Turning the head from left to right as you breathe in. And then exhaling to come down through the spine, leaving the head where it is. Take the breath in to prepare. And we'll take the last two. It's really tempting to rush this breath pattern. Try and avoid it. Use the breath for why it's there. Breathing in, opening, expanding. Breathing out, keeping that expansion but connecting to your strength and your core. And as we complete the last one, we can come onto the hands and knees. And just rest the bottom back onto the heels for a moment. Once more, you're in the rest position. Feel free to tuck the toes underneath if you maybe haven't done that already. And to direct the breath where you need it. So at the end of the next out breath, we can come out of this and we're going to take some band up and over in the kneeling position. Again, you do not have to use the equipment. If you don't have a band, imagine it. It's very, very similar. If you have a ball, place it between the knees and give it a little squeeze. If you don't have a ball, you just need to make sure that you're right up on the kneecaps, not sitting the bottom back over the shins. The band is in front of you with a little bit of slack, like an apron, and the palms are facing back, so the band is between the thumb and the index finger. We inhale to prepare, open the alignment, exhale, strengthen the alignment. Breath comes in as the arms float up, and as you exhale, stretch the band sideways and bring the band to the butt. Inhale, let the arms come up, and exhale, coming down. Breathing in, moving through ribcage closure. Exhale, strengthen your center and stretch the band as it comes to the butt. Inhale, ribcage closure, and exhale, bring the hands and the band down. Important as the band moves behind you to keep the wrists in line with the fingers and the forearms, not letting the wrist break like so. We'll take two more. As the band comes behind you, have enough resistance that it's challenging you and stretching you without having to move through the shoulders unnecessarily. Let's take the last one. We take one more, and this time we let the band come to the butt, and as it comes back up, we stay at shoulder blade height, and we don't move. We inhale into the lungs fully. We exhale, let the band get shorter, so it pulls the hands a little closer together. We inhale into the lungs fully, front side back. We exhale, let the hands get closer by allowing the band to release. We'll do that twice more. As you allow the band to get shorter and to pull the arms, don't let the hands drop or lift from their height. Inhale as you exhale, bring the band all the way up and over. Let it come to rest. Take the band away. You may feel very different around the shoulders, chest and neck just now. Lovely, and let's come back to your standing position, back to where we started. Just for the final time, feeling into the soles of the feet, feeling into the balance there, and just noticing how, if at all, your body feels different. And of course, if there's something else you need to do, now's the time to do it. Otherwise, we're going to take very simple rise and balance again to finish, and a little bit of work through the legs into the squat, and we'll do this with wide legs. You can choose, but ideally I'm going to say have the legs in rotation or turn out. Because we're taking a Pilates squat, the spine remains upright, and you take your breath in as you bend the knees and breathe out as you extend. Inhale, let the tail drop directly down, and exhale, lift up. Breathe in, let the knees widen. Breathe out, lift the pelvic floor. And as you breathe out and lift, press the soles of the feet down into the ground. Ensure as you bend that the knees, the centre of the knees, remain in line with your second toe. We don't want those knees dropping in and the arches rolling. Last two. Keep the knees in line with the second toe. Don't let the knees and arches drop in. Complete the last one, let it stay there. Here we take the balance. Lift the pelvic floor, set as you need to a fluid shoulder girdle. Let the heels lift and lower. And we're trying to keep the crown of the head where it is. Just because the heels are lifting doesn't mean the body's lifting. So the hips have to flex, the sit bones have to widen, so your pelvic floor and core is your strength. Last two. Last one, press the feet into the floor, let it come back to standing. Let the legs shake out, come back to parallel. And allow the breath to come back into your entire body. Feel the shoulders move. Feel the feet ground and connect. As the shoulders drop, feel the base of the skull float up. Let yourself settle. And ladies and gentlemen, that is enough for one day. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Please keep moving, and I will see you very, very soon. Lots of love.